listen to this video. Make sure you listen to this video. Comment and share this video.
They're on the move. Thousands of Congolese people.
First of all, let us ask ourselves whether the international powers have ever wanted the Congo crisis to be resolved. The answer is no.
The M23, it seems like that they're a group that is really trying to take over and confuse and terrorize the people in the Congo. That is not true. But that's the narrative they want you to know, so they can come in and bring troops in, kill a lot of people, so they can have their interests, and their interest is not people, it's mining.
Let
the people of Goma be calm. Peace is here. We are a people's army. We will watch over their security. We will bring peace. No harassment. We do not steal. We do not rape.
Hi, this is Janetta. Oh, you know, things are getting so hot here in Africa. I know some people say, Janetta, why are you all upset about it? I'm upset about it because I hate lies. I hate deception. And there are incidents here in Africa. Yes, there are people that are having fights and discussions in Africa, but they're also being used and manipulated. And to be able to explain it, the situation in the Congo has gotten really, really, really hot. And it just seems like somebody should come in and do something about it. Well, the people they're calling on to do something about it are the instigators. You know what an instigator means? A person is an instigator. Well, we have countries that are instigators. We have countries that want to be imperialistic and they want to have control over everything. And so this young man is going to tell you and explain about the situation in the Congo, and he can do it so much better than I can. And you need to listen to it, because you might be in New Orleans, you might be in Nebraska, you might be in New York, you might be in Washington, D.C., you might be in Peru, you might be in Jamaica, you might be in Haiti, you might be anywhere in the world, Guyana, where a black man is. And you think that this is going on in the Congo does not have anything to do with you, but it has everything to do with you. Everything to do with you. So you need to listen to this and become aware. Now, what you're going to do about it, I don't know. But you need to know what's going on. So listen to this man. And just think about it, because all of us can play a part. But we need to wake up and smell the coffee. We need to know what to do about the things that are coming up on us. There's no excuse. Okay, listen.
Before you blame Rwanda on the issue of the M23 in the Democratic Republic of Congo, I want to give you a small background about exactly what is happening in the eastern part of the Congo. How did it all start? Because all you hear is that Rwanda is supporting M23 rebels. The DRC government is fighting against the M23 rebels to take the eastern region of the Democratic Republic of Congo. That's what you hear in the news every day. I want to tell you exactly what's happening there. Let's go back to where it all started. During the infamous Berlin Conference in Europe, when Europeans were dividing Africa amongst themselves, the Belgians took Congo, the Germans took Rwanda, Germans took Tanzania as well, and the English took Uganda, carving out this area amongst themselves as Europeans. They didn't care which tribes they were cutting in between. Most tribes in Africa have been cut in between. At the borders of most African countries, you find that the same tribe is found on each side of the border. It is very common across Africa because the Europeans did not care how they are dividing these tribes. All they did is just, you're taking this, we're taking this, you're taking this, we're taking this. So that's how they divided the DR Congo, Rwanda, Uganda, Burundi, Tanzania, around that area. And the Tutsi tribe ended up having its territory divided between two countries, Rwanda and the then Zaire, which is today's Democratic Republic of Congo. Now, why are the M23 rebels fighting against the Democratic Republic of Congo forces and the United Nations in the eastern part of the Republic of Congo? And who are the M23? The M23 rebels are a rebel group that was formed by the Tutsis themselves to defend their territory, which is the eastern part of the Democratic Republic of Congo. Now, to defend against who? Against the Democratic Republic of Congo government, which has been trying to take over their land, the eastern part of the Democratic Republic of Congo, for decades now. You might be wondering how a group of people might be trying to defend themselves against their own government in their own country. Yes, that's the Democratic Republic of Congo. There is no rule of law. Everybody for himself. If you are weak, you are displaced. And this is what happens. Countries like the United States, China, and Russia have gone to the Democratic Republic of Congo, have chosen territories that they want to take over, and they've armed tribes that live there to fight off some tribes. So weaker tribes are taken over. So every tribe in the Congo DRC has to arm itself to the teeth. Those who have more arms and stronger, they take more territory. Government is in on it. The United States, the EU, they use the United Nations troops as cover for gang warfare that is going on in the DRC. There's no government in the DRC. They call themselves government, yes, because they run things from Kinshasa. But in actual fact, they are a gang that represents the United States, France, and others to loot the DRC. And what do? The Democratic Republic of Congo forces themselves will go out there and displace their own people off their land and allow American, British, and Belgian and French companies to be mining on those lands while the indigenous people on those lands have been displaced into refugee camps. Some have been displaced into other countries. Generations are born outside the Congo because they can't go back. They've been displaced and their lands are being guarded by the gun, under the watch of the Democratic Republic of Congo government. This is why the Tutsis in the eastern part of the Congo armed themselves, starting with the Banyamulenge, now with the M23. Because if you don't arm yourself in the DRC as a tribe, you are finished, especially if you have rich land like the eastern part of the DRC that belongs to the Tutsis. So the M23 rebels had to arm themselves to fight to defend their territory. The eastern part of Congo is rich with uranium, lithium, and other semiconductor minerals that are used to make phones and drones and everything. So now, the world is moving towards drones and phones, these smartphones and everything, and electric car batteries and everything. And these minerals are in abundance in the eastern part of the Congo. Are you following me? So, government forces are fighting to take the eastern part of the Congo away from the Tutsis. The Democratic Republic of Congo government is not being very honest. The truth is, they are fighting to take away the eastern part of the Congo so that the United States and other countries can enjoy exploiting those minerals in the eastern part of Congo after displacing the people, the Tutsis, the rightful owners of the eastern part of the Congo. Now, how does Rwanda come in? Follow me now. Rwanda comes in because there is a Tutsi government in Rwanda. And they are one people, by the way. They are just divided by the borders. They speak one language. They have one culture. They have the same religion. So they went to Rwanda and asked for help from Rwanda. So what does Rwanda do? They are countrymen. They are clansmen. Can they let them down? No. Because even when they are mining their own land as Tutsis in the eastern part of the Republic of Congo, they are not going to export their minerals that they are mining from there through Kinshasa or through other places. They have to find safer routes that they trust. So where are the safer routes to get the minerals out? It's Rwanda and Uganda. Do you understand what's going on here? So they fostered a relationship with Rwanda. Now, what does Rwanda benefit? From the exports, of course. One. Number two, after the genocide in Rwanda, it was a fight between the Hutus and the Tutsis. The Hutu tribe also is found in Democratic Republic of Congo, and it was divided in half by the Europeans. It is also found in the Democratic Republic of Congo, by the way. This is how complicated this whole thing is. So now, the Hutus, after being defeated in Rwanda, they escaped to the DRC. So when they escaped to the DRC, they were regrouping there to come and overthrow the government by force in Rwanda. So I said, how does the Rwandan government benefit from this scenario? Number one, I said, exportation through Rwanda of minerals. Number two, national security of the Rwandan government, the Rwandan people, has to be guaranteed. How? Because the Hutus could regroup and attack Rwanda again. So how do they guarantee national security as Rwanda? They have to keep those Hutus in the DRC in check. So how does Rwanda do that? They use their clansmen, the Tutsis that are found in the DRC, to keep the Hutus in the DRC in check. Do you see there? So that's the second way that Rwanda is benefiting from the relationship that it has with the Tutsis that are found in the DRC. Now, the DRC government is not being honest, because they are trying to push the Tutsis out of the eastern part of the Congo, saying they have to go back to Rwanda. Where do they go back to? The eastern part of the Republic of Congo is their land. It is their land. You cannot expel a people and leave their land. The DRC government is not being honest. What they want is the minerals, the uraniums and the lithiums and other semiconductor minerals that are found in the eastern part of the Congo, the land that belongs to the Tutsis. So they want to expel the Tutsis from there to Rwanda. You cannot, because these people is their land. The Europeans just divided it and said this is Congo, this is Rwanda. So the DRC government, by not being honest on this issue, is complicating things. And the United Nations is coming in an already chaotic situation. But everybody knows the United Nations is the United States. So the United States has interest in the eastern part of the Republic of Congo because it is rich with semiconductors, which are important for nuclear arms production, drones, and all these phones and car batteries and airplanes and everything in the eastern part of the Congo. That's why the war is concentrated on the eastern part of the Congo, because the United States and its allies are fighting to push the Tutsis off their land, because their land is rich with minerals that are used in making of semiconductors, drones, and nuclear weapons.
Hey, now that you've heard that, it's much of a family argument. It really has to do with the people here in East Africa, especially between the DRC and Rwanda. And what would be the greatest thing is that not for other African countries to bring more troops in with more guns.
Why did we increase arms sales to Black Africa?
You know, at any given moment, although arms sales, you would think, fall into a kind of moral and ethical and strategic category, at any given moment, it's the result of a myriad of motives. I mean, it's certainly commercial. You are looking to influence the military in these given societies, and you pointed out earlier what happened in most of these cultures was that the intellectual elite, at one time or another, was butchered, was eliminated. What's the one disciplined political force able to administer, an impoverished society? The military.
We've got so much blood. on American hands. The U.S. is the leading arms supplier to these thugs in the bush in these countries who use children as war fodder.
I never knew a Pentagon officer who ever approached arms sales from a moral point of view. It was strictly national interest. Do we want influence with these people? Do we want to make money at the same time? Do we want our people to be there as a listening post? And if you sell weapons, you need people there for technical assistance and so on. No, it's a very practical matter of influence.
So U.S. guns don't kill people.
Well, of course they do, but that's the price you pay.
The great thing would be if they sat down and had counsel with each other. And they've tried that, but there's been a problem with the president of the DRC. And this is where the African Union is supposed to step in and help to try to resolve some of these problems between us without outside interference. But basically, there's so many groups or tribes in this area that have picked up arms to defend themselves against various groups that are within the tribes, or they're actually to protect themselves. There's a lot of things going on in the Congo right now. And to have anyone to try to make it look like it's an M23 takeover situation and Rwanda is a culprit, that's a plot. That's a plan. So please listen to this and pass it on, so you will know and we will know what the real truth is. You know, that's one thing about Trump that I like. He said, when I first heard him say fake news.
Over the course of just sit down, please. Well, when you report fake news, when you report fake news, which CNN does a lot, you are the enemy of the people. Go ahead.
I thought he was just trying to cover up for what he was saying, because he was saying that they were making it fake. But I'm going to tell you something. The news is fake. And the people that we trust the most are giving the fake news. And there's a reason for that. And the reason for that is the fact that they want you to hear their narrative so you can try to rely on them. But if you're like me and you're just fed up with them trying to make it look like that we black people don't have any sense, we can't organize, we can't get together, we can't negotiate. But it's like someone coming into a household that doesn't belong in the house, but they have interest in the household. And the way they try to get what they want is they try to destroy, and they try to start things within that household. And that's what's happened here. And it didn't begin yesterday. It began in 1885. So I want you to seriously think about this. You pass on this information because it's important. It might seem like a small thing, and it might seem like it's distant, but you need to find out as much information as you can, whether you're here in Africa, or whether you're in the United States, in Europe, or wherever you are in the world. And it really doesn't make any difference what your complexion is or who you are, but it's very, very important for we, the black man. It's very important. We have been blessed, and yet it almost seems like our blessing is a curse. Because the Congo is the richest place on the planet. And right now, it's the most confused territory in Africa, one of the most confused territories in Africa. And the disaster that's happened in the Congo has been happening for years. Those people don't know peace. They don't know peace.
We've set out to overthrow functioning constitutional democracies in over 20 countries. We manipulated elections in dozens of countries. We created standing armies and directed them to fight. We went after to organize ethnic minorities to encourage them to revolt. The first thing we did in Nicaragua was to go to the Mosquito Indians, who had never gotten along with the other people in Nicaragua very well, and give them more money than they had seen in the entirety of history, and arms and training and rationales and sanctuaries in Honduras, and sent them into Nicaragua to attack, kill, fight, rape, burn, pillage. And this is an insidious thing. Every society is torn with racial conflicts and conflicts with minorities. Think how violent our nation is. Think what if there were a superpower so big that we didn't dare even flap back or strike back at them, that were coming to our minorities with huge sums of money and arms and training people from our minority groups and sending them into the country to do open acts of violence. How we would rise up and the bloodbath that would ensue. And this has been a technique the CIA has used in Nicaragua, in Thailand, in Vietnam, in Laos, in the Congo, in Iran, Iraq with the Kurds, in different parts of the world. We created, trained, and funded death squads like the Treasury Police in El Salvador that are responsible for killing as many as 70,000 people, according to the count of the Catholic Church.
So, hey, I hope that you became aware with this information, and that you will share it. And that's what's important, for you to share it. It's not important for my numbers, but it's important for information. We need to share this information. We need to know. Don't hide it under on your computer. Just save it and download it, and don't share it with anybody. You share it with as many people as you can, because we need to become aware. And also make comments on it. Let's talk about it. Let's discuss it. Because it's going to take you and I to make a change. If we're waiting for those in power to make a change, they will not make that change unless we make noise. They won't do it. So make sure you like it. And like I say, share it. Pass it on to the next person, so they'll come into the knowledge and understanding. Okay, hey, this is Janetta, and I'm telling you, hey, we the people, Africans, wake up, rise up. It's time for us to get off of our knees and make a stand. Okay, woo-hoo, love you. Talk to you later.